Good evening, viewers, and welcome to yet another dynamic episode, Young and Upcoming. And every week we promise to bring you a very lively and fun-filled yet informative program. Last week we featured A.C.C.A, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, and I must say that that program generated quite a number of calls from young persons interested in pursuing the program. But let me just jump straight to my guest and my star, my lone star for this evening. I have Miss Brenda Lee Tran, who is the head of A.C.C.A Caribbean. Brenda, welcome back. You were here just last week. It seems as though it's yesterday.
Thank you very much.
And Trinidad and Tobago, I'm introducing my lone star for this program, Candel Cuffie, and I'm sure all of you are quite aware of the phenomenal achievement that this young lady has achieved. She is the first place winner in the world in P4, which is Advanced Financial Management, and Ms. Lee Tang is going to start off by explaining the various levels of A.C.C.A and tie it into Candel's achievement. So, ladies, welcome.
Hi.
Let's kind of revisit what we discussed last week, because as I said, the interest is there, and there was a particular interest in young persons wanting to find out more about the definitions of a member, an affiliate, and a student. So perhaps you could start there and then go into more details.
Certainly. A student would be someone who has attempted the exams or are going to finish the 14 exams at professional level. We had a student at the last recording that would have been Farido.
Yes.
An affiliate would be someone who has completed all 14 subjects at the professional level, which would be Candel. All right, so she's fully finished the qualification, but our qualification addresses 3 E's: exams, ethics, and experience.
Yes.
So she has finished the exams, she has done the ethics module, she promised me faithfully she had done it, and she now has to get the 3 years experience. So my member will be someone who's finished the exams,
Yes.
has done the ethics module, and has the 3 years experience working with an employer. That person must also be able to demonstrate the competencies, 13 out of a possible 20 competencies at the workplace.
Perhaps, again, as I said, my young people were asking about they were concerned about the objectives and wanted to get some more details in terms of just not all 20, but certainly if you could highlight some of the important ones.
Okay, the key ones would be, because when we discussed the last time, I told you the role of the accountant and the auditor has changed. So a lot of the emphasis will be on ethics. A lot of it will be on managing your own time, managing people effectively, performance management, maybe some, different aspects of management, in addition to financial management.
Yes.
It's quite easy to get those performance objectives signed off by your employer, because the person who can sign off is really someone who can speak to your work.
Yes.
It may be a person who is already a qualified accountant, an A.C.C.A, a CPA, a CGA, a CME, a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
If your employer is not qualified, that person can still sign off, but you have what you call a training supervisor, who would be someone who is qualified and can also speak to the work that you're doing.
Yes. There was also a request for contact information, which we provide towards the end of the program.
No.
So let me go to my star. Candel Cuffie is 22 years, and as I said in my opening remarks, she has placed first in the world in P4, which is Advanced Financial Management. And from my research, my own research on Candel, she has been a consistently high performer throughout the A.C.C.A program. So Candel, a warm welcome.
Hi, thanks.
The show belongs to you this evening.
Oh, how sweet.
So Candel, how do you feel? You have been, since the achievement in December 2011, I know you have been on a lot of talk shows, you have been speaking at a lot of public forums and so, but how do you feel at 22, having achieved such a phenomenal achievement,
Well,
How do you feel?
It's an amazing accomplishment, and I obviously feel very blessed to have accomplished it at such a young age. And coming from Trinidad, I think it's the first time Trinidad has won a first place prize. So I feel really blessed to have done that, to represent my country and the youths in particular. Yeah, so it's really great.
Candel, we have a lot to talk about, but we take a short break and return to our featured guest this evening. Welcome back to Young and Upcoming on CNC3. If you have just joined us, my guest is Miss Brenda Lee Tran, head of A.C.C.A Caribbean, and my lone star this evening, Candel Cuffie, first place in the world in P4 Advanced Financial Management. Candel, before we go further in terms of your study patterns and how things evolve, there's a particular quote that you articulated sometime on a particular radio station, and it says, to achieve goal, you must have a goal.
Yeah. To achieve goal, G-O-L-D, you must have a goal. That's a speech I did at my former high school, American Ministries Pentecostal High School. They had a function, and they for me, and they asked me to give a motivational speech. So I was saying, in order to achieve goals, you must have a goal. So I was telling the students that you must be fixed. Like, if you fixed in your study time, fixed in your exam time, you must stray away from the distractions. So I gave them 3 F's to work with. You must have faith in your God, faith in yourself, faith in other people who will help you to achieve success, because it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And then you must have focus. That's where the fixed came in. You must be focused. If you want to study, you put your all into it, and then fight. That's why I talk about the distractions. You have to fight the distractions, like the BBM and the social network and boyfriend and the girlfriend and all those things that youths especially are faced with today, and all the internet and the pornography and stuff like that. You must be able to fight it. So it was really some tips for achieving success and their goals and stuff like that.
Now, my young audience out there, I will want Candel to repeat some of what she said, because it is important. It is important to fight distractions. It is important to set your goals. If you set your goals today, you know exactly where your direction will be tomorrow. Yeah. So, Candel, let's just go back to the distractions. I'm moved by that. In terms of what advice would you give your young colleagues in terms of because distractions play a big role in terms of negative impact, and so what would you advise?
Well, I would advise them to keep good company, because that's one important thing. Because if you have friends who are encouraging you to do the wrong thing, that's where peer pressure comes in. It will be harder for you to stay on track. And then obviously, if you come from a good home or a good family, that could be a good factor. So fortunately, I had that, so that was good for me. And for people who don't have parents, that's why I go and do these motivational speeches, and I actually give out some little bookmarks and stuff like that, so people stay motivated and stay on track. And that's why I think this program is so important. So when young people see other young people achieving, they will get motivation to achieve as well. And that's how I did it, because obviously there was a lot of distractions, but thank God I had like self-motivation, and I was very self-disciplined. So I didn't really let the distractions come in the way. Yes, you have a social life, but you have to have a balance and a limit to everything you do. Yeah.
And that family support, Candel, I know it is very prominent in your household. Yeah. And let me just take this opportunity to send greetings to your dad, Reverend Dr. Winston Cuffie, and Pastor Angela Cuffie. Yeah. Candel, in terms of family support, how would you describe it? Because to achieve so phenomenally, that family support and the spiritual support is also important in terms of, that spiritual background.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Would have contributed tremendously to your success.
Yeah, well, I was so blessed to have parents who grew us, all four of us, we grew up in church, and we grew up with all these spiritual morals and values. So it was kind of easy for me. And some people ask my sisters and I, is it harder, like when you go into school and stuff, and people troubling you and things? But I didn't really take it on. And it never really was a negative factor. In fact, it was a positive factor because, my church time, I said in one of my speeches, my church time was sacred as my study time, and I never put studying before God, and I always put God first in everything that I do. So I went to church and I pray, and my family, they supported me in that as well. And that's why I say it's good to have positive people. If you have Christian friends or whatever religion, they will help you stay in that path. And then my family, they supported me through everything. And when we go on vacations, or if we had to go out and stuff, sometimes I'll stay home if I find I didn't study enough or I wasn't getting something enough. I'll be like, go without me. I can't come because I was so disciplined. So the family support was always there, from going to school, taking me back and forth to school, making sure I had stuff to eat. These little things that count. Yeah, it was always there.
Excellent, Candel. We take a short break. When we return, we continue our interesting conversations with Candel Cuffie, our star this evening, and Brenda Lee Tran, head of A.C.C.A Caribbean. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Young and Upcoming on CNC3. Again, my guest this evening is Miss Brenda Lee Tran, head of A.C.C.A Caribbean, and my star, Candel Cuffie. Candel, I'll return to you shortly. Brenda, I want us to talk a bit about ethics. Ethics seem to be emerging a lot now in the corporate world, and I know it is a huge factor in terms of the accounting profession. How would you speak to that in terms of its significance?
It's so significant, Sandra, in that it's examined in 11 of the 16 papers that are on offer for the A.C.C.A qualification. Any of the exams that you do for FIA as well, you must do a professional ethics module. Because, you understand what's happening now when there's some blurring of the lines, yes, and you don't really have a black or white answer in some cases. What we propose to a student or a member who might have some dilemma, there are 3 questions we ask. Is it legal? What will others think?
Yes.
And I just forgot the other question. Sorry. Is it legal? Is it right?
Yes.
And what will other people think?
Yes.
Yes. And if you can answer that, then you would know what course of action you should take. But unless you do the ethics module, which Candel has just done, yes, then you don't become a member. And we have had instances in the past, and they are very few.
Yes.
But we have had instances where people have put out themselves as a member. Some students have been offering services to the public, preparing financial statements when they're not qualified to do so, or offering auditing services when they don't hold a practicing certificate from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. And when it comes to the A.C.C.A letters, we always insist that you must be a member before you use it. It's a legally protected term. Yes. Some people don't understand that, and the argument is always, but we're an affiliate, we haven't become a member, and we're very strong on that. Even affiliates, because when you're a member, to maintain that membership, you have to continue your professional development. Yes. And you must have 40 units every year. So you must be current. The international financial reporting standards are changing every year. Yes. The international standards of auditing are changing as well. So unless you know what you're doing, whenever we sign off on accounts as an auditor or prepare a set of accounts, know that someone is relying on those accounts. So we are advisors. The global financial crisis showed as well that entrepreneurs are the ones who are standing out.
Yes.
And A.C.C.A amembers around the world, well over 60,000 of them support SME providers.
And accounting, the practices and the standards change ever so often. You have to keep up with. For example, when I did accounting, it was SSAPs. Then there's a new term for it in terms of the standards. So you always have to keep accurate with the changes in terms of the standards.
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda. So, Candel, what is in store for Candel? Moving forward, I know you're working on your membership. You have indicated that a lot of organizations have expressed and continue to express interest in you in terms of employment. What is there? She told me she's anxious to work.
Yeah, I want to get some work experience because I'm excited to see what's the practical aspect of it, because I studied for so long and I want to see how it really is out there in the working world, and I want to gain membership while doing that, because you have to work for 3 years to gain membership. So I want to become an A.C.C.A member, and I have gotten a lot of offers, but I'm just considering it very carefully. I don't want to rush into anything and want to make the best decision for myself. Yeah.
Good. Apart from the A.C.C.A membership, which you have to do, what is there in store in terms of further academic studies? What do you have on the table?
Well, right now I'm currently pursuing an extension to the A.C.C.A. It's an Oxford Brookes degree program, and actually I'm finished with it. So I'm doing that is a degree in applied accounting at the Oxford Brookes University. So I'm doing that, and then I intend to do my MBA.
You see, my bride says 22 years, and you see what she has under her belt, and that is what I'm talking about. Today's youths, tomorrow's world. We have to keep supporting them. I mean, I love them, and we just have to keep there, treading and prodding with them. And as I said, I keep saying on every program, their success would be our reward in terms of the support that we give to them. And Candel, I want to wish you, I mean, we are not to the end of the program, but I mean, I cannot explain to you how, I don't know how happy. Brenda, help me now. Because I've been following her since this huge achievement in terms of...
It is huge, and like Candel just said, it is a phenomenal achievement. I mean, we have 7 subjects at the final level. You have to do 5 out of a possible 7. We've never had anyone get a gold, well, sorry, not gold, but get the highest in the world in any one subject in the final level, and she has done so in P4. So I mean, it gives me hope that
I can imagine how you feel as
that's right. Yeah. So there is hope that one day we'll get a gold or a silver or a bronze winner who would have been, attained the highest marks in the final level,
Candel, when we return, I want to talk about your career path as an accountant. We take a short break. We return shortly with Candel Cuffie and Brenda Lee Tran. Welcome back to Young and Upcoming on CNC3, and again my star is Candel Cuffie and Brenda Lee Tran, head of A.C.C.A Caribbean. Candel, how early in your life did you decide you wanted to become an accountant?
Well, I always knew I liked business. In secondary school, I always knew I liked business, so I took business subjects at CXC level, and I got a distinction in accounts, but I was still undecided, and then I pursued it further in Form 6. I did at Form 6 level, and it so happened that my teacher who taught me in Form 6, she did A.C.C.A. So she introduced me to A.C.C.A. and I wasn't really familiar with it, and she gave me brochures and stuff, and she always told me that, she said, you are my best students in accounting, you should do A.C.C.A. and that's how it came about. And then I say, okay, I was still undecided, and then I got a distinction in it at Form 6 level. I say, you know what, this is a sign. And then, I did my research, and A.C.C.A. is like one of the most prestigious accounting bodies out there, and so I decided to pursue it at A.C.C.A. in Montrose.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So there's a social side to Candel, which she will talk about. We're going to wrap up short, but Candel, you are into dancing.
Yeah.
Good. And I'm sure you do that with Wincy and your sister.
Yeah. Well, my mom, since all of us were small, she signed us up for all. We did dancing, swimming, sports, singing, music. We played the piano, I played the pan, so everything. And then, well, from all, I realized like I love dancing the most. And well, I also do choreography for Wincy Ann in her dance videos and stuff like that. Yeah.
See, my girl has places to go.
Yeah.
So, Candel, what, as I said, well, you're working on the membership. Good. You're working on this other program with Oxford. And I want you to continue talking to the youths because I think it's important. Yeah. Our vision here is today's youth, tomorrow's world. And I always say every star that I have in the program, I'm hoping to achieve at least 10 more out there. Yeah. But I'm sure since you started your motivational speeches and so, you would have attracted hundreds.
Yeah.
You know,
I got a lot of positive feedback, emails, and people coming up to me after the speeches, and there was a great interest in A.C.C.A. as well. So yeah, it was really it was great to know that a lot of people were motivated and inspired by my achievements, and that's why I think it's so amazing, you know, to do these speeches. And I always welcome any offer I get to talk
and
to
I
you.
know, Candel, you would have put in a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. You would have deferred some gratification to achieve this, because that is the only way you achieve, you know, by deferring gratification for some other things to do one particular thing. And I think it is laudable. It is laudable. And I think there are great things in store for Candel. We will hear about Candel, if not in Trinidad, in some other part of the world, because she is going places, and we want to wish her all the best. But just before we wrap up, because wrap-up time I don't like, but we close to wrap-up. Brenda, what would you like to, as we wrap up, what would you like to leave with our viewers? As I said, you will get some calls coming in. I want you to leave your contact information. But what is, you know, one important thing or two that you'd like to leave with our viewers?
Well, as Candel has shown, that anything is possible. But you really have to be focused if you want to do our exams. You always have to maintain the ethical stance, because people rely on you and your word. So you always have to maintain that ethical stance and walk away from something that possibly may damage your reputation way down in the line, you know. I also want to thank because we didn't do it the last show, but our approved learning providers, we have 6 in the country, and I'll just quickly tell you who they are.
Sure.
A.C.C.A. College of Tertiary Education, School of Business and Computer Science, Professional School of Accountancy Limited, Omar Dean School of Accountancy Limited, Students Accountancy Center, Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business. Now, these are people who really market our program for us, and without them, people like Candel wouldn't be able to be here. So we always are mindful of that, and we're very thankful for the support they give us, as well as the Institute. I mentioned that at the last show, that all students in Trinidad also belong to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, because we share that joint scheme arrangement. And I can give you the details. They can be reached at icat@tstt.net.tt, and we can be reached at info@wi.accaglobal.com. And to all the students who are going to sit exams next month, I would say good luck, keep focused, and just stick with your dreams. It's your dream, you can make it happen.
Agreed. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Candel, what you have been doing so much, as I said, in terms of inspiring and motivating. But for this particular program, what would you like to leave with our young colleagues out there, your young colleagues who are looking on at you and saying, you know, they would like to be like Candel, like to emulate you, what would you like to leave with them?
Well, I want to let everyone know that all things are possible, and you just have to keep a positive mental attitude and think I can and not I can't. And just because you're from a third world country, so they say Trinidad, you or people you may consider yourself ordinary doesn't mean you can't do extraordinary things.
Excellent.
And I am anyone who wants to accomplish the same dream or even more, you know, it is possible, and you just have to stay focused and believe that you can do it and put in all the work, because you know you can't just want to do something and the next days will happen. You have to put in the work and stay focused, and you know, continue on, and your dreams will come true and you can make it happen.
Well said. Candel, I want to express a thank you for taking time off this evening. You are my star, and I wish you Godspeed.
Thanks very much.
In your pursuits. And I know you are focused. I don't have to say keep focused. You are focused. You are focused. You are focused. And Brenda, of course, it's always a pleasure sharing with you. And we will continue to keep in touch with the other projects that we are working on. And thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Sandrine.
Yes. That's it, viewers. We have come to the end, and just to remind you of who we had, you know, Candel Cuffie, and just to remind you, Candel is first place in the world in P4 Advanced Financial Management of the A.C.C.A program. She sat the exam in December 2011, and that is the phenomenal achievement that came out of her sitting. And Brenda Lee Tran, head of A.C.C.A Caribbean. Thank you for viewing, as usual. See you next time. Bye-bye.